Hi there, this is Megan from the glutenfreevegan.com, and I'm going to be showing you the technique today to roll up dough. I'm going to be making in specific pizza buns, but it's the same technique that you could use for cinnamon buns or any sort of rolled jelly roll type style buns. It's pretty simple. It just requires some special equipment, I guess, some plastic wrap on your work surface, lots of flour, gluten-free flour, and some dental floss. So just keep watching and I'll show you real quick how to do this. Okay, so you can see here that I've put 2 lengths of plastic wrap down on my work table here, and I've overlapped them so that there's no spots where the dough can actually touch the table. This just makes it really easy for when we're going to roll it up. Now I'm going to generously flour my work surface. I'm using brown rice flour for this, just because it doesn't get super sticky like cornstarch or something would. It might look like a lot, but depending on the type of dough you're using, if it's got a lot of starch in it, like tapioca starch or cornstarch, you do need to have lots of flour because it tends to be a stickier dough. So don't be scared by how much flour you're using here. You can dust it off once you're done rolling the buns. I think I'm just going to put a little more even just so it's evenly coated. Okay. Perfect. I'm just going to scrape out my batter here, and it's a pretty simple recipe for the dough. It's using chickpea flour, tapioca starch, cornstarch, a couple of flax eggs, and some seasonings and all that. And you can get the full recipe on my website as well. It's been posted for a while. You can see what I mean when I say sticky dough, right? So you can understand why I've put so much flour down. Okay. So now what we do is we actually flour the top of the dough and place plastic wrap on top. And we're going to layer it again 2 lengths of plastic wrap as well, just like we did on the bottom. Just like that. Oops. Okay, so we've got my rolling pin. You're just going to start rolling out the dough, just making sure your plastic wrap is kind of nicely positioned so that you don't have to, you don't see it peeking out from the plastic wrap. And you just basically want to roll this into a nice rectangle about 1 inch thick.
Okay.
Okay, so now that we've rolled it out to about 1/4 inch thick, you can just see, you can peel off the plastic wrap and kind of brush off some of this excess brown rice flour that we've used on top here. Because now we're going to put our filling in. So this is the same kind of, you could put, you know, cinnamon and sugar and some butter to make cinnamon rolls if you've got the right kind of dough. This is a savory dough that I've made, and so of course I'm making pizza buns with it. My rectangle is not perfect, but I'm not perfect either, so whatever. Okay, so we're going to basically spread out the pizza sauce all over this dough. If you like it super saucy, you can obviously put more on, but I like mine just a little bit saucy. Oops. Okay. And you kind of want to try to go to the edge as much as possible here. Apparently I like to get messy, so anyways. Okay, and I'm using some vegan cheddar cheese. It's the Daiya brand. I think that's how you say it. Daiya cheddar shreds, and I put about 1 cup or 1.5 cups kind of evenly spread out as well. And as you roll these up, the filling sometimes kind of squishes out anyway, so if it's not perfectly to the edge, that's okay too. It'll probably make its way to the edge. Throw a little bit more in here. And what you can do as well is sprinkle a little bit more of this cheese on top before you put it into the oven to bake. Okay, so now I'm going to show you this technique that I've kind of found that works really great for rolling this sort of stuff up. And this is why you wanted to put the plastic wrap down at the very start, because we're actually going to use like a sushi roll technique to roll this up. So you just lift the saran wrap off your work surface and you just kind of start tucking it in just at the edge here, just to get the roll kind of started. And you just kind of keep going. And the idea is to get as tight of a roll as possible, and if you floured your saran wrap enough, it should come off the plastic, your dough should come off the plastic quite easily. And you just kind of peel more back and keep, and if you need to squeeze it in, you can just go like this, just kind of using that sushi technique to kind of make your roll as tight as possible so that when it bakes up, it doesn't fall apart. And just kind of keep going like that. You can kind of see what I mean with the toppings kind of squishing out at the edge, so it's all good if you don't get right to the edge when you're making this. And just keep rolling and get right to the edge. Okay. Get all your saran wrap out of there. Okay, now it's all rolled into a nice, I guess, jelly roll style. And what we're going to do now is we're going to just roll it back here. And we're going to use our dental floss to kind of cut it into like to discs, I guess. Okay, so I just wanted to show you here quickly. You notice how it's a little stickier. The dough's not totally sticking, but there's one spot that obviously didn't have enough flour. So I'll just take some of the excess flour and sort of sprinkle it on and just slowly just kind of try and pull it off without tearing the dough too much. And it usually should come off. Even if there's a little bit that sticks, if you just sprinkle a little flour and kind of pat it in there, it helps separate it from the plastic a bit more. Okay, so we'll just gently roll this back over. And you'll see all this extra brown rice flour that we used for rolling this out so that it doesn't stick. Let's just dust that off because you don't really want it to stick to our buns when we're baking them. We'll just get this side and dust it off as well. Okay. Now, I have a parchment lined baking sheet on the ready here at the side. We're going to take our dental floss, it's our unflavored dental floss, and we're just going to grab a portion of it and slide it under the roll, and you just cross the floss over and use that to cut through the dough. So it's cut right through and it's cut a nice bun. Just dust off any excess that we've got of the flour on the edge there and place it on our parchment lined baking sheet over here. I'm going to keep doing this for the rest of the roll. I'll show you one more and then I'll show you the end result after we've baked it. I'm cutting these into about 1-inch roll slices, I think. That's about 1 inch, eh? Okay, so they look nice, they stay in shape. You can see the pizza sauce and the cheese in there, and it looks pretty tasty. I'll finish the rest of these and then I'll show you the finished product. Okay, so this is the end result. I've cut them into, technically there should be about 12 here, but I made 2 little tiny end ones. So you should use the floss to cut this in about 12 to 14 slices. And you place them on a parchment lined baking sheet. with enough distance so that they actually can spread out and become nice big buns. I said big buns. So this is the finished product. I baked these at 350 for about 18 minutes, anywhere from 15 to 20 depending on your oven. And they turn out nice and melty and cheesy and saucy and really airy, so they're very tasty. And look at how nicely they turned out, nice even little spirals. I hope you enjoy this and you can use this technique for things like cinnamon buns and anything else. Enjoy.